The government has announced that all non-essential shops, including department stores and shopping centres, will be able to reopen. June 15th is the date that has been given. A lot of retailers just not happy about this. And I have to say, you have to think, what is the difference between a car showroom and a department store or whatever? So,
but also there will be safety guidelines. So a lot of people saying, well, how is this going to work?
It'll not be the same.
You think, oh, great, although department stores will be open. So Alice Beer today is in Cribbs Causeway shopping centre in Bristol. Morning, Alice. I mean, they're all alone, but, you know, that this could be open on the 15th of June. What is it all going to look like for us?
Well, it's bizarre now. It's really weird. As you say, it's shut to all intents and purposes here, all the way from John Lewis right down the other end. I mean, it's a really big shopping centre, very popular centre just north of Bristol, all the way down to M&S up the other end. The shutters are down. Actually, two stores are continuing to trade, Boots just here and M&S down the other end. You can access them from the other side, from the outside. So they do have their doors open and people are still shopping. But as you said, from the 15th, these shutters can come up. These are non-essential stores. The shutters can come up so long as that coronavirus curve keeps coming down and everything progresses in the right direction. They can open for trading. What on earth is that going to look like? Because we know that the guidance is going to be very, very strict. The social distancing, we've got to stay 2 metres apart. The contamination, protecting the products. There's going to be so many things that the shops are going to have to monitor. The number of people who come in, the way that people move around shops. It's all going to be very strictly looked at and just controlled because they can't take a risk of this spreading the virus and a second wave happening. So we know that some stores have already opened, like IKEA, and they're not taking any cash, for example. Matalan has staff in protective equipment, PPE. Furniture Village is taking temperature checks of staff, and DFS is taking temperature checks of customers as they go in. So all these different measures that stores are taking, it's really important to know what's going to happen when you come to the shops. So once you get inside a shop, there might be a one-way system. You certainly won't be able to touch the stock like you used to. You might have to have a time limit of how long you're going to be in there. There'll be screens. Many shops won't take cash. How on earth are they going to do it? No changing rooms. You can't try on the clothes. How on earth is shopping going to return to normal? Well, I'm here with Deborah Jones, who is my 2 metre measure, who is the Centre Director for Cribbs Causeway. Deborah, this is a mammoth task. How are you going to get the shops open again? How is this going to happen? And will customers come?
Oh, I think so. I think customers are looking forward to it. The centre is large enough to enable us to make it one way. There'll be various crossing points along the route, but it's going to be one way. There'll be socially distanced in terms of the stickers, and there'll be queuing systems outside of the stores. The escalators will also have the 2 metre social distancing with some nice blue footprints, same as the lifts, same as the loos, and so on. So we've got enough space to do it. We've got a width here of 4 metres, so we can easily do the 2 metre social distancing.
And who's going to police that? Will there be lots of security guards separating us from each other and saying, oh, you're overstepping the line? Is that up to you, or will the police be in here?
Well, we do actually have our own police force, but no, it won't be manned by the police. It will be done by a combination of our security staff, but also our guest services hosts that we have at the site. So there'll be someone at every door. And they'll be mobile, so they'll be able to help the customers with any difficulties that they may have.
What about coffees? Because you want to come have a coffee and shop. And the food court. You've got a gorgeous food court with palm trees here. What about all that? Can any of that open?
Well, they'll be able to open for takeaways. And what we would encourage people to do, we have plenty of seating. The seating will also be socially distanced, but also, hopefully, the weather will remain good, and we've got some beautiful gardens outside where people can go and sit if they want to do that.
Lots of sanitisers. Loos will be open.
Yes,
and
Loose will be
monitored?
open.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So there's lots of sort of falsehoods coming around, but not all true, and you should be able to return to a good shopping experience in a couple of weeks' time, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's different. I mean, if you imagine a shopping centre like a big supermarket and how they've managed to socially distance and how the customers have got used to it, I think it will be the same thing for a shopping centre.
Well, one thing we do know is that there will be masses of sales. There'll be discounts, won't there?
Yes.
So thank you, Deborah. Well, will that be enough? Will the sales draw us back? In the Far East, when the shops reopened, they had these massive shopping bonanzas. And in Shanghai, they took £2.2 billion in the first in the first 24 hours. Will we be like that, or will we be a bit more nervous? In Belgium, they've got one-way pedestrian routes with little roundabouts for people to walk around when they want to go in the other direction. In Austria, they have to wear masks. In Spain, they don't have to wear masks. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all pans out. And will we come back to the shops for the joy of just shopping itself? Or will we be too nervous, or will we be hungry for a bargain? So in just over 15 days' time, we'll all be back here. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be back here. John Lewis, the big names, they're all planning on opening. John Lewis here is opening. Some stores we know won't have made it. You know, we've got the warehouses, the Oasis, Carluccio. Some of them haven't made it through the coronavirus, but lots of stores have. And these stores and this centre certainly are absolutely determined to bring the customers back and bring back the joy of the shopping experience. I'll be here, I think.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, as a customer, I mean, one of two things are going to happen. People will have got used to not going to shops, and therefore retail will be continuously hit. Or someone like you who's having it dangled in front of you there, the idea that this all could be yours in a couple of weeks' time. How do you feel being there in a mall?
Do you know how I feel, Eamonn, is I personally, I do a lot of shopping online anyway, simply because I'm always busy and running around. But I really, really love our high streets. I love our shopping centres, and it is my duty as a consumer to come and shop. No, I might not be able to try on the clothes, but I can take them home. Perhaps I'll be able to have them delivered home and choose them here. It's our duty to bring back the community, and shopping centres, places like this, really are important for our community. I do not want my big favourite names to fail and go under. It would be very, very sad. So we're going to have to overcome a few nerves, overcome a few wobbles, and get back out there slowly in all aspects of our lives.
I slightly don't understand that not trying on clothes bit, Alice, because we can order anything we want online, we can try it on, and we can send it back. So what is the thinking behind the rules in shops? No changing rooms.
Well, it's all about contamination and getting close to each other. Obviously, they have to make sure that things don't, you don't pass on the virus via things. Waterstones, for example, there is one in this centre. They are, if you touch a book, that book has to be taken off the shelf for 72 hours. It has to go to the back of the store. It cannot be touched by any other customer for 72 hours. I mean, it's bizarre. Kurt Geiger, there's a franchise here in John Lewis. If you try on shoes, you have to wear disposable socks, and those shoes have to go into quarantine for 24 hours. So touching stock is a major, major exposure from one customer to the next. And we've got to protect the staff, the shopkeepers, of course, the shop workers. So if you're trying on clothes in a store, there is a chance of contamination, and they just won't want to take the risks.
I think, Alice, you know, just talking to our production team this morning, there's that general feeling that everyone's just missing having a mooch around the shops. You know, so think, like you said, it's sometimes it's just being out there, having a look around, seeing what's there. So, yes, let's hope that people still want to do that. And as you said, keep those businesses in that high street going.
Also, Ruth, you know, stores like Primark, where they're renowned for being busy, the long queues, anyway, at the best of times, you know, they've said, their CEO has said, they're very aware of the supply chain. They have to pay the people in vulnerable countries often who have made the goods. So the goods are all here. They're all in storage. They're all here to be sold. We've got to keep those people in work. We've got to keep the supply chain going. So we've got to get out here and spending and enjoying, as you say, that mooch, that brow, browse, that coffee, that experience.
We'll see.
We've got to go, Alice,
Thank you,
because
Alice.
we've got a lot of tiny people to talk to.